Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the Commonwealth. My name is Brandon, and it is a beautiful day in the wasteland. Perfect for a how-to video. And basically today it's going to be a how-to on Fallout 4 and getting to know it, getting to know the little elements that make it such an amazing game. Um, there's a lot of things different from the previous one, so I'm gonna get right into this. I have a quick little checklist here off to the side, and I'm gonna go through them little by little and basically break down the components of each one, and you'll get to see what the importance is and how you can utilize them to your benefit. And first of all, I'm going to start off with the settlement building. So you have these benches here that range from several different types. This one is the chemistry station, which you'll find throughout the wasteland. And basically the way these workbenches work is you go up to them. Like I said, they are scattered throughout the wasteland, and you get to create certain things based on what you have in your inventory. I don't have much because I choose not to carry a lot of like fruits and stuff like that. Some things require hub flour, some things require carrots, other things require like brain fungus, stuff like that you have to infuse to create a certain type of thing, and each one has their individual benefits that is unique to anything else that you can find in the wasteland because it's of your own creation. In this case, I have enough to make buff jet and buff tats because, as you can see under the requires tab, I have buff out and jet, so I have enough to make quite a bit of that. While I already have them in my possession, I don't feel I need to make any more, but I can make Molotov cocktails. And one of the things you might notice on the adhesive section of the requirements is that there's a magnifying glass, and I'll get to that when I talk about weapon crafting, which is my next topic that I am going to go on, which is this table right here. I choose to have everything right next to each other, and it makes it just convenient, you know. And here I have everything named specifically so that I can characterize it in a certain way. Coral I got from The Walking Dead because I liked Rick's 357, even though this one uses 44 Magnum. You know, the similarities are still very similar, and I have them all categorized, but as you can see, there's a little star next to them, and those consist of certain perks that are with that specific weapon and that weapon only that you cannot craft yourself. As you can see above, it says improved VATS hit chance, 25% less action point cost. Those are two different perks that this weapon happens to obtain, and with it come all the benefits because it's a legendary weapon, and that's what that star means. So if you ever find a starred weapon in the game, make sure to pick it up. Even if you choose not to use it, it's always good to have a legendary weapon for the simple reason that it has a perk that you might find useful later on. So what I've done is, as I find weapons through the wasteland, I pick them up and I save them until I can improve them once I'm high enough level. So as you can see here, I'm going to try and modify this, and actually I'm going to try a different one. I'm going to try this one because I know I can't get the advanced receiver unless I have, as you can see off to the right, the required rank 4 gun nut, which is a specific perk designed to allow you to upgrade your weapon to make it improve damage. So as you can see there, next to the damage off to the left side, there's a little target crosshair with the number 60. As you go down, it's enhancing the receiver part, which you can see is the green, and as you go down it gets more powerful. While I can upgrade to the powerful receiver, it does take a lot of resources, and as I was gonna say, the magnifying glasses are to represent a search option, sort of. You might see it says tag for search if you press Y, or it would be triangle on the PlayStation, and basically it allows you to easily find or find them easier is better to say, because either way they're rare materials, so you're not going to find them as commonly as other things, but you will find them throughout the wasteland, but you have to make sure you keep an eye out for them. In this case, this will let you know if a material in the world has that specific thing you're looking for. So I have those tagged for search because they are rare materials. While crystal and nuclear material are rare, I have found more opportunities to find them than anything else. So I choose not to upgrade to the advanced receiver yet because I want to. So I have chosen not to upgrade to the advanced receiver yet until I'm rank 4 and I'm capable of doing so. So as you can see, those were the two. That was chemistry, and this was the weapons workbench. I have one more over here off to the side, which is called the cooking station. And in there, as if you played Skyrim, you're familiar with this. You can create foods with things that you have. I don't believe I have anything capable of making here. But just so you get an idea of how it works, you basically just have to have the required supplies to make something, and really it just requires you killing an animal and having certain things within it to be able to use it. Like I said, these things are not necessarily required for the game. The armor workbench, you do need to be a certain level, and you do need to have layerable armor that you can work on. I right now, as of now, have an outfit on which you cannot layer armor to, meaning you cannot upgrade it. Right. So the last one I'm gonna show you guys is the crafting workbench, which allows you to build things for your settlement. It's the workshop for your entire settlement. You don't have to go to it to engage in the workshop mode, but it is very convenient, I guess, if you're already there. And here you can see I built this. This house right here is a prefabricated home, which is easily found by going all the way down into the prefabricated tab. You go all the way down to the right, and you can build a very nice minimalistic home. It doesn't have any frills, any fashion, or anything like that. And if you want to see inside, I don't have to build one because this is already the complete thing. I have added power and furnishings and beds and televisions and whatnot. But this is the frame. Everything is pre-built. The frame, everything about it, the roof. So everything seems to line up pretty good. This is an example of what you're able to do in terms of a pre-built, prefabricated home. I have put up a couple walls in here just for the sake of privacy, like it matters, right? And this room up here is my personal little area. While the bottom settlement is perfectly fine for the wastelanders and everything, and my current settlement members, I built this little area for myself and my companion. It really captures the ability of all the things you can do in this game, the freedom you have to do whatever you possibly want. I created a little dining room, a little game lounge, all through the dev mode type of workshop that you can control. And not everything fits. That's one of the downsides to it, but you can create anything you want. And I have a topic I'd like to touch on towards the end, but it has to do with this. So my next topic I'd like to touch on is armoring. So you get to layer your armors. I would have showed you in the workbench, but as of right now, I don't have any armor that you can layer. So I'm going to show you Kate, and you can see that she has the Vault 111 armor equipped, and as you can see, she is wearing several types of armor, and they all have different benefits to them. Since some of them are legendary, they have +2 luck, better defense, better mobility, things like that. And I have them layered atop each other so that the added benefits all just add up to a really good overall defense. You can work on all of these, as I said, but since I'm not wearing them, I don't want to remove them and then have to work on them, because really these are already the best that these can get. I've already upgraded them a bit, and since they're legendary, they already have really good benefits. You might even notice as you start the game, you have a wedding ring, which is your wife's, and you can choose to give that to anybody, or you can sell that. I think it's a little cheap to sell that, so I chose to give it to my companion because I was able to romance her. So while I would show you guys how that's possible, unfortunately it's kind of hard to duplicate it once it's already been done. So just so you know, you are able to romance your companions no matter the sexuality of them. Not to say that it matters, but if it's guy on guy or girl on girl or girl to guy, you can romance them and make them your permanent, not necessarily permanent, that's not the right terminology, but you can make them your lovers. Basically, you can make them your companion that is going to be with you, you know, if you follow the vows of wedding till the day you die. And that's totally possible with no matter what sexuality, unless it's dog meat. You can be with your significant other, and I chose to give mine the wedding ring. So I think that's really cool. That's just a little bit of the whole companions thing and the armoring system, as much as I can show you guys from here. The next topic I'd like to touch on is the resources, and as you can see them over here off to the side of my settlement, I have some dead stuff there. It was growing melon, but here I have some carrots. They grow off there. There's corn, and then off to the other end here, you have potato plants. You have melon. You have razor grain over here. There's all kinds of these type of vegetables and stuff that you can grow that boost your happiness in your settlement. So I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of each category off to the top. On the left, you have the amount of people you have. I currently have 14. Your food is exactly what I just showed you in terms of your resources, how many you have in terms of the percentage rate, however they measure it. Not necessarily 15 food plants, but 15 equivalent that can serve about 15 people. So I could add one more person, but the percentage might go a bit down in terms of happiness because you don't want to just survive, you want to live. That's the best way I can put it. You want to actually enjoy living there, so they try and make it so that you have an excess amount of food. So that's what I've tried to do here, just by a bit. And you get more people in your villages and your settlements by building recruit radio beacons, as you can see there. It doesn't take much to build them. All it takes is a generator, some power cables, and you know the resources required to build one, and automatically you have a recruitment radio beacon. Once it's built, you can open up your Pip-Boy here, go to your radio, and you will have usually it says settlement recruit beacon, but because it's already tuned into it, you can't hear it. It's already been used, but you can tune into it, but it's not really going to say anything unless it's active. But yeah, that's how you get new people into your village. But unfortunately, you need to keep track of that. You need to make sure you stay on top of it and make sure you know how many people are in your settlement so that you have adequate food and adequate water. These only take a small amount of resources to build, and it produces 3 water. So the next category is the water. All you need to do is build these and let the people use it how they please, and you're perfectly fine. Power, now that is generators upon generators to accumulate up to 12 power. Unless it's red, you won't have to worry. So as long as it's green, you're in the green, basically. You don't have to worry about people being angry or sad about certain things, as long as you keep everything balanced. Which takes me to my next one, is defense. Defense here I have mainly on the outside, but as you can see, this guard post here, I was able to assign someone to work on it, and basically he just keeps a lookout and it raises the defense percentage in the settlement. As you come out here, I have a little gate. These machine gun turrets, they add defense, so they add 5 each. Ultimately, in total, I have 23 defense, which is fine, but you truthfully want a lot of defense, as much as you can get, because while it is a bit of an occasion, it's kind of a big deal when you get raided, because you don't have resources like in Clash of Clans that they can steal or anything, but people will die and the happiness will go down, and your people will not be so excited to see you the next time, you know, to say the least. So next one I want to talk about is the beds. That's self-explanatory. You just put beds, make sure they're covered. You know, they got a little shed like over there. Even if it's your own personal bed, like I have 3 just to make some sort of like king size type of bed, even if it's like that, it still counts. And ultimately you might find someone sleeping in it, but it counts. And last but not least, you have the happiness of your settlers. You have people working on crops, you have people sleeping, you have people drinking water, and you have people eating. As long as you have those fundamental core objectives accomplished, you will have a happy settlement. And basically, that's all you need to keep track of if you choose to do the settlement option in Fallout 4. It's important to know that you do not need to participate in the settlement option in Fallout 4. It's totally optional, as I've said, but it's a very fun experience, and it's a perfect way to kill time. If there's times that you don't really feel like you want to do a mission or something, or you don't want to risk your life out there in the wasteland, you can build your perfectly nice little settlement here and just have a good time building stuff. It took me hours to build this little shack type of house thing on top, but I had a hell of a time doing it, and to this day I love walking into it and knowing that I built every aspect of it. I thought it's really cool and it's super enjoyable. So my next topic that I like to talk about is going to be the power armors. These are also important because there are some areas in Fallout 4 that you will not be able to go into without one of these. Truthfully, you can, as long as you have something that can reduce your radiation, whether it be a chem or a suit that can do that. This power armor suit is capable of maintaining ridiculous amounts of radiation so that you're not affected by it. I'm going to give you an example real quick. I'm going to head over to a part of the game called the Glowing Sea. Okay, so we are at a part of the game that requires you to be in horrible amounts of radiation. There are many parts of the game that do have radiation barrels and radiation ponds and pools of water that are just irradiated to hell, but this is one of the worst parts. This is, I believe, that it's said that this is where the Ground Zero was. This is where Ground Zero, upon the nuke hitting, where if I'm correct, this is where Ground Zero commenced upon it going into the ground in Boston. And, you know, that's why everything is so horribly irradiated. This was actually Ground Zero when the nuke hit, and that's why it's so horribly irradiated. And you cannot come in here without a radiation suit of some kind or this power armor. You might notice off to the right, in between the map and the attack points, you have something called a core. Now these power cores you have to find throughout the game by looking around into these generator type machines. They're actually like fusion core reactors. They really serve no purpose for the building itself, but it's for the purposes of finding them and getting to use them for your power armor. I have a total of 43, but believe it or not, they are actually hard to find. 43, I got lucky because I actually came across an area that had several, and I was able to collect quite a few of them. So that's pretty much everything that needs to be said about the power armor, at least for a quick run through of it. There's plenty more to say in terms of modding and stuff, but it's totally optional. Like I said, you don't actually have to use power armors to get through areas like this, but they do make it very convenient. The next part I'm going to discuss is the companions segment, and this one is pretty interesting. Alright guys, we are at our next segment of the Alright guys, we are at our next segment of the checklist. We're going to talk about the companions. The companions can be a blessing and a curse for the simple reason that you can be walking and they will get in your way, something awful, just like any NPC would. But I think one of the biggest things that I love about the companions is that you actually start to gain a connection to them. This might not be for everybody, but this was for me personally. One of the first companions you find is Dogmeat at the Red Rocket Inn. You will find him here, right next to Sanctuary. So upon getting out of Vault 111, you tend to head over here and find Sanctuary. The next part you tend to find is Red Rocket Truck Stop, because they're very connected. I mean, they are so close together, it's uncanny. And you know, it's almost parallel to the point that it's like it's designed that way. And maybe it is, maybe it's not, who knows. But you can actually make this a settlement as well if you choose to. I choose not to because I don't care for the location of it, but you can. And after that, you know, the world pretty much just opens up and becomes your oyster, and you find all these places. But yeah, I believe that the companions are a very good element of Fallout 4, and you actually gain a companionship with them. So, you know, it's very well done in that aspect. And aside from them getting in your way all the time, I do believe that they are very helpful aspect in the game, and I recommend getting one. You can choose not to, and there are actually perks, like I'll show you now. There are actually perks that benefit you for not having them. It's called the Lone Wanderer. Basically says when you're adventuring without a companion, you take 15% less damage, and carry weight is increased by 50. It gets better as you go. It ends up getting to, you take 30% less damage and you carry weight by 100, and when venturing without a companion you do 25% more damage along with everything else. So while that's really cool and all, you don't really get that whole, thing of being able to share your resources with your companion, in the sense of being able to trade with them. You can have them carry your stuff for you, and while you can carry 100 more, I think they can carry around 200, if not matched to what you can carry. So while that's really cool, I think carrying a companion is much better in many ways than going alone, but it's totally optional. Just like Fallout is, they are so versatile, and there's so many ways to play it. It's totally up to you. But like I said, this is just to let all of you beginners know, many ways that you can actually enjoy Fallout without actually having to, play through the story or do all these side missions, which actually leads into my next category, which is the progression of the game. This one, it's totally optional, as I've said, in terms of how you play it. You can go, main story and just finish it off right away and then do side quests, or you can alternate between the two. I did a little bit of both. I alternated between side quests and main quests, and there are many missions here called Another Settlement Needs Your Help. I've done a video on this in the past and it did very well, but take no joke from it. It is absolutely unnecessary, and by this I mean it is a never-ending cycle loop of missions. This is a mistake many new Fallout 4 comers experience, and I experienced it myself, and I choose not to participate them anymore, such as these. Check this out. Everything with the picture of Vault Boy wearing the settler's hat and the laser rifle means it is a mission by Preston Garvey, and those missions are absolutely useless, and I do not recommend doing them up to a certain point. There is a point that you will get to Preston Garvey's missions where you get to unlock this area called the castle. The castle is a great place to have. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and here we have the castle. This place is absolutely awesome. I choose not to hang out here too much because there is a woman here who is just god awful, and I cannot tolerate her. She is cringe-worthy like you've never cringed before. Just absolutely annoying and completely worthless of a human being. So I choose not to hang out here too much. I could send her elsewhere, but let's face it, this is part of where she's from. It's not necessarily spoiling if you know that this is where her and a group of people called the Minutemen used to organize. So it's one of the missions that Preston Garvey offers you. So as I've said already, once you get the opportunity to do the mission that unlocks this place, while it is tough to do at first, once it's done, you can create your settlement, and it is just badass. It is just cool. It's a awesome place to be around. You can just feel the safety here. You can build walls anywhere you can see, and then you're completely fortified. You'll be totally protected, and no place feels safer, in my opinion, than the castle. But like I said, totally optional. You don't have to. And so with that being said, this is going to bring me to my last category of my checklist, and that is simply have fun, you guys. Fallout 4, as I've said, is a very versatile game and can be played in so many ways, but with all these ways to be able to play the game, you can get lost in the process. So I sign off this video with the simple request that as you play through the game, you don't have to play everything. You don't have to participate in every element of the game if you don't want to, or if it doesn't intrigue you enough. That's perfectly fine. You can try it, not like it, so be it. You don't have to play it, and in the end, have fun. with that being said, guys, I just want to say thanks so much for watching. I hope it informed some of you who are still, kind of struggling. I know when I started, I was struggling as well and was just hoping that somebody would have helped out or whatever. But, I got it on day one, and while I was familiar with the Fallout 4 series already, with the Fallout series actually, not Fallout 4, I was familiar with it, but, this is a whole new thing with all new elements to the franchise. Ultimately, though, there are elements in this game that I did not explain in my video, but they are just things that most RPGs have in common, and you should be able to find out for yourself. Because while I can give you all the fundamentals to playing the game, I can't tell you how to play it through and through, because there's a learning curve that has to be done by you and you only. And not to mention, it's as I've said, I can tell you how to play the game step by step, but then it won't be fun because you're not going to find your own path. So it's really just best if you have fun with it. You just got to have fun with it. And there's so many things to do, and you can get lost in it, and that's the fun of it. You get lost, and several hours later you find yourself in a fight with like 3 death claws and a shotgun and stuff like that. And then the same day that you're playing, you'll be able to find yourself, and you suddenly have a brand new home, and these people have beds and food to eat, and it's just a great game all around. So ultimately, you guys have fun. My name is Brandon, and I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and let me know what I helped you with. Let me know what you needed help with that I was actually able to help you with. And just have fun, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.